is there something that we can do for the creators with the infrastructure here? Is there something better that we could do? How do we build a better situation here, shall I say?
I wish we had a space, and I've recognized 100 and Taylor is becoming that. It's becoming a hub to space. I've went to Atlanta many times, and Atlanta has like these complexes where you walk in and there's stores, there's studio space, there's podcast space, there's people chilling, there's people like outside hanging. And it just creates like, and God forbid I'm not comparing Atlanta to Nashville because we ain't that. You know, we have our own shit going on. But, you know, we need more hubs where this is the place we all go. Like we all go here for these different things. And I recognize like there's a lot of spaces that hold space for Black people. But, you know, underneath the threads of it, you know, they not necessarily for us. We paying rent and we keeping their bills paid. You know, we're keeping their studio popular. And shout out to Nick and Tay for being like, you know, yo, we want a studio space where this is the spot that when artists come, they're going here. Because I've heard, you know, a friend of mine was like, yo, you know, come through. We got her here recording her whole album here.
Fire.
Yo, we got Coco Jones recording the whole. They want to record here. So we have these spaces. But imagine if there was a Black-owned complex and you've got her in one building. You got Chuck Indigo in another space. You got Lost in the Sauce podcast over here. Act like she not finna be in your space. Or Chuck might not potentially be able to throw his own loop and get a feature. But we don't have like just those big creative complex spaces where we are the controllers of what we're, you know, allowed to do. We have to, you know, to some sediment, like hold space. This is our shit type shit. But also like, you know, you can't get too loud certain places, you know, you got to close at a certain hour or, you know, things like that. So those are the spaces I wish we had because many times than none, me being on the back burner of it now and watching and observing, there's a lot of spaces that hold space for Black people for quota. Like, we have,
and that's unfortunate.
Absolutely, it is, and you know, in my big age, I see what it is. You don't even have to explain. But for a 22-year-old or 21-year-old who's fresh out the gate, trying to get their name heard, they see that as an opportunity.
A big opportunity. Yeah.
And so we just have to get out of the mindset of like, what is opportunity to you? Because a lot of times opportunity is financial. Opportunity is experience. Opportunity is elevation. And sometimes I've seen personally opportunity being able to bring Black people to my space and patronize it, and then you go home. And so I wish we just had more opportunities and spaces for us to just be. And there, you know, there we have some. It's just not a lot. But you think about on the countryside, like
it's everywhere.
You know, it's everywhere. And so I have this thing where I recognize that every maybe 10 years, Black Nashville is recreated. And so I remember when I was young, there was a Rocksmith. You remember Rocksmith, the brand? So there was these Rocksmith shows, and it was like Love Noise, Fly Major Crisis, and them doing these shows. And then the trajectory changed a little bit. And it was like 2 L's, Break on a Cloud at the time, doing these shows. Then it changed a little bit. And every time there's this news article, Nashville scene, Tennessean, Forbes, whomever, that's like, oh, the Nashville hip-hop scene is brewing. Who's next? Man. And it's like that is the story that has been recreated for years.
Yeah.
And we have been in the space of almost a quiet I don't say it's a specific energy, but like we going against each other, you know, for these things and for these moments. I'm the you don't want to be the token black in a space. You just don't.
Yeah.
But we have a lot of these spaces where we get in them and we feel like, oh, I'm the person. I'm it. So let me keep everybody else, you know, where they're at.
Yeah. That's unfortunate.
Yeah, and then you realize, and it's like, yeah, but we did that 10 years ago. We did that 5 years ago. We did that 2 years ago. And so it's like really recognizing who is doing what and supporting the people who are doing these things. I tell you, many a times I was Avriana when I was her age. So how dare I be the person who's gatekeeping, you know, keeping her from whatever. I will support whatever she has going on, even if it's me pushing it online.
Yeah.
Or being in a space to have a conversation. I just told her the other day, like, let's go to lunch and just catch up. But we've got to have these spaces where, you know, we are the ones that are controlling what we got going on.
Yeah.
Nobody else.